Hello, hello, hello. I promised y'all that we would be back in an hour, and we are. Thank you for joining us. I am joined here with Scout Derek again, and we are going to jump right into the action of 42 The Answer versus 228 IBR. The teams currently playing here are both Division C teams, and they are actually both tied for third place. And as this is the final Div C match, the outcome here will determine who has third. And there's another stream going on right now, I believe on Lady Wolf's stream, or Konglord's stream, actually, I believe, where two teams are fighting for first place in this div as well. So the scoreboards will be finalized tonight. Well, first, let's see what these teams are running. Let's see. On 42 The Answer, we see a Javelin 11F, two Javelins, two Quick Draws, two Fire Starters. One is the Fire Starter A, and the other is the Fire Starter Ember. What do we have on the 228th side?
For the 228th, we have two Phoenix Oxes, a Fire Starter, Hellspawn, another Fire Starter, and a third Phoenix Hawk.
Alrighty.
And it looks like they're going to be doing pulse. Yes, they are. Small pulse, medium lasers, more small pulse. All small pulse covered by a Hellspawn with medium lasers.
Yep. And so it seems 228's just burning all of their Phoenix Hawks in the first drop. I'm gonna check what's on those quick draws. I wonder if I'm betting they're the MPL quick draws, so I'm just gonna double check to make sure. Yep, they're both MPL quick draws. So MPLs, HMGs, and Small Pulse on the 42 side, and Small Pulse and Meds on the 228 side. So yep, we're just gonna see a standard brawl push here from both sides. Wait a minute. Let's see. Let me pull up the right div.
It's already too late, my man.
No, I'm just double checking.
And it looks like both teams have stopped right outside of the corner of each other's eyes. We wait
Yep.
for
228 IBR is supposed to be. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay.
So the teams are
They
right,
are
or-
they are correct. They are correct.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm so glad I caught him right before the corner.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that was about. Anyways, both teams are just immediately engaging now.
Flynn is just jumping straight over the entire enemy team.
Yes, they are, and he is in a bit of a bind. Unfortunately, Tofurkit also is out of
Yep.
position.
Amarok and Tofurky are both out of position, one for each team. Flynn is diving in though. Flynn is just leaping straight in, taking a serious amount of damage. Also, I don't know who on 42 just dropped the strike, but that was a god strike right there. A lot of
Yes,
damage.
it was. Flynn manages to get away, though. I'm not sure how much that will do. UAVs are everywhere. There's about a total of 10 UAVs up right now from both teams. As this is a pretty straight-on fight. One of the Phoenix Foxes is trying to rotate back as they fell down. That's going to be a really bad thing for it to happen to UA, but I don't think it's going to affect them much. As Morticia gets back in the fight, engaging the fire starter. Meanwhile, the rest of the 228 is now trying to move in. Quick draws are
11.
backing up.
11
Another-
UAVs are up, my god.
UAV fight, and it looks like it's just Ridge fighting. Prometheus jumping down, legging Tofurky.
Yep, Tofurky gets legged. Down.
Wipes him out.
Morticia
is legged now. And that Phoenix Hawk is not going to last very long either. Morticia goes down. And good night, just sitting there in the Javelin, shooting heavy machine guns, not even having to move at all. As Kaguru is NASCARing around the enemy, trying to buy time, maybe get a kill or two.
Yep.
Just seems like everybody is shooting everywhere. And Amarok goes down now, 42. Tiger goes down. Dark Templar,
Dark Templar goes down. It's 2v5. I think that solidifies 42's victory.
Yep.
Nutty Rat
Now
doing all he
they're
can,
gonna
but
swarm them.
Odin Steel
Yeah.
just now coming back into the fight, though.
Yes, he is. I wonder where he was at. Now he's gonna try and maybe potentially get a kill, but they're
Nope,
just gonna
he's
jump
late.
right on him and take him out. He does get a kill.
Not a
Kills
single
the
cap
quick draw.
point touched. Wow.
Very, very quick. Very, very bloody. But it seems like two mechs were never really touched. Good Night and Prometheus and the Firestarter. Both of those mechs really didn't move too much. The heavier mechs seemed to have taken the aggro. Whether it was because they weren't being shot in the legs or not is a different question entirely.
Yep. Yeah, it seemed that the biggest issue that 228 had is that their push was a little too staggered, and about 2 times they found a single a single 228 light alone against the entire 42 team. Give me one moment. Trying to find my damage board. There we go. All right. So if we look at the damage numbers here, oopsies. It's taken a moment to update from the Pog versus 5JDX match we just had. Apologies, folks, but let me get that rolling up one more. There we go. So, top damage on the 42 side going to Goodnight, getting 398 in the Javelin 11F. Bottom damage going to Flynn in his Firestarter Ember, getting 179. Then if you look at the 228 side, bottom damage going to Tofurky, 85 damage in the Firestarter. And top damage going to Odin Steel, 254 damage in the Phoenix Hawk 7S. Oh, interesting. So I'm going over the VOD right now, and oh, that's what happened. Alrighty, so... So, Derek, we've seen Alpine played twice in the past 2 days, or in the past 24 hours. What are you expecting to see this time? Are you expecting to see a little more of what the 5JDX Pax per Bellum strategy was, which was just go hard in on a few ER large assaults and then have a few skirmishing lights? Or...
Well, for the most part, we've already had quite a bit of matches played out on this already, and basically, I think teams are going to try and want to maybe do more ERPPC max, I would say, because it seems like the ER larges aren't working for some of the higher end teams. It may work for the lower division teams, sure, but we're in Div C here, and this is where we begin to see people coordinate a lot better and generally have better aim overall on what to do.
Alrighty.
So maybe some ERPPC mechs again. But definitely we will see some ER largest mechs for those who maybe aren't as talented with Gauss rifles or PPCs and the like.
Yep. Alright, if you can give me one moment, I gotta fix OBS, because apparently there's a hotkey bound that I did not know was bound. But, alright. So, and if we go back to the lobby, let's see, nobody's swapping out pilots, so both teams should be ready to go here shortly. I'm trying to think. Two to eighth, even their lower div teams, they often seem to have a pretty solid grasp on the meta, whether it be by observing other high player teams or just extensive testing themselves. So I would expect to see 228 run a bit more of a Div A strategy, like, say, the ERPPC deck we saw from Pog. But we don't have to speculate, because we're just going to drop and get right into it anyways. Alrighty, so on the 42 side, Commando 2D, Thanatos 5S, Warhammer 60, Catapult Jester, Shadowhawk 2K, Grasshopper 5P. So a single light, and then a bit of a hybrid, as the Thanatos is Light Goss ERP variant, Shadowhawk is PPCs, and the Warhammer, Jester, and not Cataphect, Grasshopper are all the ER large variants. What do we see on the 228th side?
For the 228th, we got two Battle Masters, ER Larges, Grasshopper 5P, which I believe is also ER Large, a Locust 1V, a Spider, and a Warhammer. So that Grasshopper definitely has some ER Larges and two ER Smalls as backup. And it looks like Tofurky's already going to run in and grab Theta immediately. We've seen this quite a bit already. Grabbing that
Locust
middle
doesn't even
cap
have,
is
even though it's the MG variant, it doesn't have any MGs. It's just a single ER large.
probably focusing on that speed more so than requiring backup weapons, which is actually
Yeah.
fine. And we see that the speed does help as the commando is unable to get down there because the 228th do have Overwatch
Yep.
data. So again, smart play by them.
Yep.
Looks like 42 is going to have to do something different here.
228th, already having the cap control, already having Theta and Kappa, now setting up beneath the K10 hill as just sort of the same way we saw five JDX play earlier today, of just holding caps and holding trade angles, not really going to play very aggro. Meanwhile, 42, they're playing incredibly aggro. They are actually wrapping around to Sigma already.
I'm
I
not
hope they
sure
don't get the
how
point.
good the Goss Santos would be. It's regular Goss. I thought it was
Oh,
light Goss.
I thought it
That
was
is
like
not
Goss
very
ERP.
good. No, it's just two regular Goss. I don't know
Wow.
how well that's going to work against, but it seems like 42 is being very aggressive, getting near that Sigma cap. Hopefully, they don't make the mistake that Pog did initially, which I'm sure they won't. But trying to push the Sigma side can be very dangerous, as there's not a lot of cover to work with, and there's multiple angles you can view. If we look on the mountain right now, we see Kaguru and the Spider just free roaming right now,
Mm-hmm.
getting vital information for the 228th to realize that 42 is not really getting any angles whatsoever. They're just setting
Yep.
up right now. And a
Kaguru and the
strike goes
Spider is
out.
probably also looking for a chance to grab Epsilon should it present itself, seeing as setting up a 3 cap early in the game could give them serious map advantage here.
And now Prometheus is going to go out on his own near Sigma. Hopefully he doesn't run into it. He's looking for an angle, but there's nothing there.
Oh, Prometheus, don't do it. Don't take the cap point. Alright,
He is
he
not.
is going around it.
But right now, they are giving 42 free room to move around, it seems.
Yep, and
220th kind of turtling back.
I'm not sure they're concerned about that though, seeing as it's just lateral movement around the cap point, and they still have control of the 2
And
cap.
it looks like they have spotted 42 moving across. Prometheus taking some damage there. Goodnight trying to trade back, but they're still far out, and there's 4 mechs looking at them.
And there's no real significant damage on either side yet.
No, there is not. Meanwhile, 42 spots the spider, so Kaguru has to walk back a bit. Reposition. Mainly, the spider is doing a great job, however. He's being a nuisance. He's keeping those two mechs from doing very much and also getting information for his team, while also being a threat to the cap game. So another strike goes out against 42. Hits
Yep.
Shade? It does not hit him. I'm very surprised by that. It looks like it did hit him, but it doesn't.
Yep. And still, so far, no one's even in the orange yet. Everybody seems to be twisting off the damage pretty well. Amrock's down to 68%, but still in the green. Or yellow. Yeah, Amrock's actually managing to twist damage very well in his Thanatos, which is nope. As I say that, he's open side, which means now he's at risk of getting his Gauss rifle crit out. However, 42 is getting Theta, and 228 doesn't. Oh, they're barely able to scratch. I'm not sure if they'll be able to stop it though.
I think they can. If they can get some attention onto that Locust
Yep.
and prevent him from poking the feet,
Yep, Flynn is
Catapult's
forced to back
coming
out.
in. The Locust taking quite a bit of damage there. Not very good. As he tries to dodge and weave away, his leg is almost open as well as his CT.
Ugh. It's definitely not how you want your capping light to play out.
So if you'll pay attention to Herod right now, he's looking for the spider, but the spider has already rotated back. Again, the spider doing a good job, and Herod has to look away, realizing that the spider finally did go away.
Flynn's
And it
so
seems
close
like
to making
42.
Theta neutralized.
Yes.
Yep, Theta is neutralized.
He finally grabbed it, and now he's going to have to swing in again right now and get that cap immediately.
Locust is coming out to trade against Shade in the catapult again. Tofurky, that's not the angle you want to hold.
I think realistically, Tofurky just needs to be a nuisance more so than a traitor. He needs to run up towards Epsy and annoy the Grasshopper. The Grasshopper's still looking for the spider. I may have been wrong about him realizing he's still looking for it, looking back occasionally. But the spider is right in the front with the rest of his team. Maybe
yet,
that information has not gotten out yet.
And yet, despite 42 being effectively down a traitor, as Herod is still looking for it, they are holding their own on trades quite astoundingly. They are
If you'll
definitely
notice
winning
that
the health
Battlemaster's about to go down shortly. Getting focused by the large laser mechs and now to Thanatos. Odin has to rotate away. He's almost CT open and his side torso is not looking too great either. And now, 42 has Theta. And Tofurky goes down.
He kept trying to trade against the catapult.
It was actually Grasshopper who shot him as well. Keep that in mind. And now it looks like Morticia is about to go down soon.
Yep. Yeah, I think this match... Oh, Prometheus gets down Delphir.
Yeah, however, Amarok is not looking too great. He has lost the side torso, a single Gauss
Odin
left.
Steel.
Good Night
Odin Steel
goes
takes
down.
down Good Night, but Odin Steel is now being traded, and he's one touch, and he's trading 1v3 right now. He's not
Doing
long for
his
this.
best, and he goes down.
Prometheus takes down Odin. Flynn is going to dive down on Mort and Darklight. However, Flynn needs to go for Mort, not the Battlemaster, as Mort is seriously banged up. Actually, no, Flynn just needs to bail. There are two
Now,
moves there.
Darklight is just getting focused down.
Yep.
Now, Morticia is going to go down very shortly here. Maybe Darklight will go down first. We're about to find out. No, Morticia goes down finally. And now, Shade is going after the spider, completely ignoring the Battlemaster. Likely because the Battlemaster has no more ER larges on it to work with. So now Herod's getting harassed by the spider. Spider is actually in relatively good condition, 75%, but I think he's going to evaporate fairly quickly. Hera just ignoring the spider, trying to get
Herod's
the kill
doing
on the
everything
Battle
he can to
Master.
stay alive, yeah.
And now the spider gets
legged.
legged and then destroyed immediately. And so Dark Light is left, and he finally goes down.
Wow. Talk about trading dominance from 42, starting at a severe disadvantage.
Yes, but they pulled it back together effectively. They pushed through. They ignored the spider. They knew the spider wasn't going to be a threat, so they pushed right through.
Mhm.
A smart job. They took out one of their traders temporarily for a time, but it seemed like they realized that, hey, the spider's not going to do very much towards us, so let's ignore him and just keep pushing forward.
Yep. Now for the damage board. Top damage on 42 going to Prometheus in the Warhammer 60, 674. Bottom damage going to Flynn in getting 263 in the Commando. That's actually quite a lot for a Commando. So no real low damage from the 42 side. Top damage on 228 going to Morticia, getting 463 damage in the Warhammer. And bottom damage going to Tofurky, getting 102 damage in the Locust 1v. However, the Locust did only have a single ER large, so you cannot be too harsh on that damage number. As we now prepare to go into drop 3, 42 has won the first 2 drops, and let's see if they can pull out the third, or if 228 is preparing to come back. And what do you think 228 is doing wrong here, Derek? Like, what do you think they need to fix in order to come out on top?
As far as fixing, they just need to congeal it together and make better callouts. It seems like they got the positions down a little bit. Could do a little bit better on that, but overall, that's something that can be fixed. But definitely, I feel like communication is the problem here because we notice that sometimes they aren't focusing targets properly or they're not aiming entirely right. Also, the spider was called back, it seems, and instead of pressing his aggressiveness and being an individual pilot himself, seems like they told him to come back and help because they were losing the trades. What I think the spider should have done was rotate further into their back line and annoy him further. Because yes, while it may took out one trader out of the fight, it could have been a lot better if he was providing even more information and just being a harasser in general, because he was relatively fresh until the very end there, if you noticed. None of the 42 could really hit him, and I feel that if he pressed his weight against them, they definitely would have felt it, and 228 might have had a chance there to turn it around and get the cap back, as well as feeding the traders that 42 had up there.
All right. And 228 has locked. Props to 228 for being on point tonight on how fast they are getting their sides locked. They have been just on a roll, and I greatly appreciate that. Meanwhile, 42 still trying to get everything together, trying to solidify drop decks, make sure everyone's ready to go. And now we're just waiting on Prometheus, and then we can get this rolling. Both sides are locked. Let's get launched. Alrighty, so on 228 IBR, we see Stalker 5S, Spider, Stalker, Warhammer Locust. So a very similar deck to what we saw before. ER Large Traders, and then the Spider and the Locust. What do we see on the 42 side?
For the 42nd, Shadowhawk, Thanatos again, Grasshopper, Catapult, Commando, and another Grasshopper. So it seems like they're doing ER Larges again and keeping that Gauss mech in the rotation, seeing as it worked for them.
Yep. So mech choices may have varied a bit, but really same strategy, same plans. Both lights, Vroom in it to Theta. Spider will at least have shots on the Commando to stop the early cap.
But it does not matter because they have Overwatch for the Commandos, so Flynn can just walk in and force the Spider to run back. Kaguru taking a lot of damage early on to those legs. Not looking good for him. Orange legs, actually. And now he's just going to have to flitter away as the large lasers come down on him. So now it looks like they have 228 bringing a Stalker back in that one point that we saw Temo at, I believe, earlier. Getting that high ground spot.
Yep.
Hopefully going to give their team the edge and advantage information and range-wise. And it looks like Flynn is now committing to Kappa for the second cap. Easily getting that. The Locust unable to really get a shot on him? Yes, Flynn cannot do anything towards the Commando, but they are stopping him a little bit. If you notice, they're getting a little bit of scrape damage on him.
Just
it's
enough.
It's not much, but it's just enough, yes.
Meanwhile, now 42 is still going for the aggro Sigma side sweep again.
But I think this time 228 is prepared, having Odin up there on the high ground to make sure they don't push out very far. And Darklight down below him, near Sigma. Now we also notice Morticius up high, getting free damage on Prometheus and the Grasshopper. Prometheus unable to trade back at all. Actually confused a little bit. Realizing this, he's now going to have to rotate away. He's just going to actually push right through, ignoring that scrape damage.
Amrock is taking serious damage from Odin, though. Thanatos is already open CT. Just absolutely face-tanking the Stalker. Yeah.
Those hitboxes do not help that mech at all. Not a single bit.
Meanwhile, Darklight's setting up for a little bit of a lower angle than Odin. However, he is still able to provide a bit of fire support, but it does seem that these early match trades are leaning hard in the favor of 228.
For now, at least. Maybe the answer will have an answer to the 228's setup here. And Tofurky's actually going for the side cap over near Kappa. Not the best idea. He's actually stopped now. He's going to try to trade against the Grasshopper. Flynn notices this, and he's going to go flank around and potentially get a couple hits on that Locust. But Morticia is up there. And he goes down, actually. That is not looking good for 42.
And of course, Amarok is already on death's door as well. The moment he pokes, Odin will be ready to drill him out and probably put him down. So this is a heavy early match lead for 228 IBR, and I'm curious to see where it goes from here.
Yes, hopefully able to turn around 2 losses they've acquired from playing on Hellbore and playing the previous match. Right now, Herod not looking too great. He is orange CT armor. Amarok trying to get some trades on Odin. Odin's just hammering him. He's unable to do anything. And Shay is going to try and move up. He's going to make use of his potential jump checks. Yes.
Alright.
He's actually going to press up against Odin.
Not sure how much that's going to help them here. However, they have pretty much relinquished all 3 of the cap points, though.
And Odin's now gonna move down because he realizes that rest of his teammates are gonna need a little bit of help of taking care of the aggro push that 42 is attempting to try. However, I don't think it's gonna go very far considering that Thanatos is very cored out. However, Odin is not in the best place either to stop these 2 mechs from moving up right now. He's more focused on Herod, and Herod is now CT open.
Though, if you ask me, 228 doesn't need to overly concern themselves with anything, seeing as they hold all 3 caps right now.
Yes, they do. I think they're right now just going in for the cleanup because they realize that there's not much they can do. Right now, Flynn tried to go down on Morticia, just gets laid and killed immediately.
Yeah. That is a heavy loss, seeing as that's their only cap mech, which means that the hopes of getting any of those caps back have already been squandered.
Yes, and now Amarek is there with his 2 Gauss rifles trying to get some damage in, but again, cored in the CT, so not much you can really do.
The moment somebody looks at him, he's done.
And now Delafier and Goodnight are going to have a little bit of a spat. Herod right next to him too. Now Goodnight's going to have to push back because Kaguru is also here too, a spider, shooting a single ER large. Very terrifying, actually. If that spider spots the Thanatos, I think it's done for Amarek. 42 still putting up a decent fight.
But I believe this match has swung in the favor of 228. Amarek goes down. It's down to Herod, Shade, and Goodnight.
Herod will go down very shortly too.
I believe they'll be able to secure some kills, but I believe 228 has won this match.
I disagree. I don't think 42 is going to get any more kills at this point. All of their mechs are cored out.
Yep, Herod goes down. Shade goes down.
And now it's just Goodnight. But he doesn't have much left in the tank either. So he's going to go down right about now. There we go.
Yep.
Very good job by 228 setting up those lanes of sights and not allowing 42 to be aggressive.
Yep, definitely fixed whatever errors they had occurred in the last Alpine drop.
I would be even more inclined to say that that map is pretty biased, depending on the builds you bring.
Really?
Especially 42, I mean, let's be honest here. You're trying to bring a Thanatos with 2 Gauss, okay? Why not light Gauss and PPCs? Why not that? You would have a much better time trading with that type of build as opposed to trying to bring a Thanatos with 2 Gauss. But again, like I said, 228 just had better positioning, and that side was more biased for their playstyle. Seeing as they're able to get the cap back.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there is something to be said about when you're on Alpine, it's very hard to push from the south side. It's very hard to play as aggro. It's a lot easier to push down on your opponents from the north side. So, I do believe that 42's more aggressive strat definitely would be under a bit heavier scrutiny after swapping sides. But if you look at the damage numbers here, top damage on 228 Odin Steel, 761 in the Stalker, just got up high and farmed. Lowest damage, Kaguru in the Spider 5V, 66 damage. If you look at the 42 side, 437 damage in the Jester, being top. Flynn and Prometheus both getting sub 100, 78 in the Commando, and 64 in the Grasshopper. 64 in the ER large Grasshopper. That's that alone can sometimes show exactly where the match went wrong.
It's not too uncommon for pilot deficiencies to be various mechs.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit, I'm not the best in every mech. I'm pretty good, but not the best. And that's where you need to work on it. But if you don't want to work on it, then you don't work on it. And you let another person take the spot.
Oh. 228 is locked and then unlocked because somebody wasn't ready. Now they're going to lock again. And just waiting on 42 to lock, and then we will get drop 4 rolling. We are actually quite ahead of schedule. Which means that we may be able to start the next match early. Alrighty, on the 228 side, we are seeing triple Nightstar 10p, a Banshee, and 2 Fleas. Alright, I love this. I love this already.
2 Nightstar 10Ps, huh?
Triple Nightstar 10ps.
Triple. Well, you should take a look on the other side. 2 Jägermech Ds.
Oh boy, I love this.
Autocannons, and then we got the Stalkers. Stalkers are large lasers, I believe. Yes, they are. And the Annihilator is quad AC-10. And Flynn is in his Flea 17, running for the cap immediately, and Deadfire will meet him as well. Deadfire actually preparing, using the ERs he has on his Flea to try to pick away at Flynn, but Flynn's just going to run in there and grab the cap. In fact, Flynn could have actually pressed against Deadfire and effectively take him out of the fight, but Flynn doesn't want to take that fight because he doesn't have enough information, unfortunately.
Yep. The Nightstars are slowly but surely making their way in.
Yes, a white Nightstar and then a blueberry Nightstar. Both of them are ready to unleash power of the Daka. Who's gonna win, the Jägermechs or the Nightstars? We're about to find out as the strike goes out against Amarek, and he has to back up. Seems like the Nightstar is easily winning this. He's just gonna try and pick off quite a bit of Titus's armor. Only gets 5%, however. Herod is down low. Not sure what he's looking at. Maybe to try to counter that Nightstar angle, but again, he's way too low down to actually get an angle.
Meanwhile, Kagaru has brought up his Banshee, which means all 4 of the assaults are set up in a very wide spread across the map in order to give them the almost perfect crossfire. However, the perfect crossfire doesn't really matter right now because 42 has a 2-cap. So they honestly should stop trying to trade. Oh my goodness, Titus exposes and goes down to 74% in his Jaeger mech. That's huge damage. Oh, that's interesting. The Jaeger mechs are both running 5 AC2s and not the UAC 2s that you typically see on the DD. Which is interesting because the DD quirks only apply to UAC 2s now.
And now Shade and Goodnight are gonna move up and send Flynn in to grab that cap to protect it. Tofurky and Deadfire together, waiting for Flynn to come up, but Flynn decides to go back. Smart decision, as the Night Star Darklight is watching, waiting for that Stalker to push.
Yep.
He knows he's coming, and here it comes. Shade trying to trade.
Yeah, biggest thing though is that the Night Star is running UAC 5s and 2s, and its power comes from the UAC Jam quirks. So against a Laser Vomit mech, the Stalker might have the advantage.
Seeing as Shade doesn't peek out too far, he has to side peek. He's going to let the Annihilator go through first. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Seeing as the Annihilator has autocannons. But Darklight is getting punished.
Yep,
he does not have the other
hard.
Night Star to help him. And now they're going to take that ground and move up.
In fact, speaking of where the other Night Star is, they're all the way behind Kappa. I did not realize that. Yeah, there's a fight going on at spawn as Herod. Yeah, Herod's down to 49% as he has the Flea behind him and the Night Star and Banshee in front of him. Herod goes down. Titus seems to be next on the chopping block here. However, Odin Steel looks to be. Yep, Odin Steel goes down.
But it doesn't matter because the Jägermech shuts down from overheating. Tofurky is about to finish him off here. Yeah, there it goes.
And now it's a Banshee against the Jägermech. Kaguru might not win though. Oh, Kaguru does win. Never mind.
Seeing as the Fleas come in to save him finally. Now Flynn's going to try and swing in, kill the Banshee.
Oh, and he manages to do it.
Nutty Rat having to face off against Shade and Goodnight. Darklight coming in to help. And now the lights are coming back to take care of the Annihilator. Annihilator is just getting farmed.
Yep.
Flynn chasing Tofurky, but Tofurky does not care. He is a flea. He loses an arm, cutting down that firepower a bit.
Goodnight gets halved. And Shade's just getting farmed beyond belief.
And now Flynn has to fight. He's actually almost able to kill Tofurky. He gets away with it. Darklight, though, takes care of Goodnight.
It's now
but Darklight also goes down. Yes. Very close fight. However, Flynn's going to try and go in. A little bit of a mistake fighting that Night Star. That DPS is very dangerous for the Flea.
Nutty Rat is in the red.
Does not matter, though.
Nutty Rat's open side. So long as he's not XL.
Oh, Deadfire goes down. This is bad for Nutty Rat now. Having to contend with 2 mechs. A Flea and a Stalker. He needs to take care of that Flea. But it's too late now. As he gets halved. And Nutty Rat trying to ignore the Flea, but it doesn't matter. There's not much health left for him.
Aww.
And that's it.
I really wish the Night Star deck won. That would have made me so happy.
So the issue with that was that they did not stick together. They needed to stay together. What should have happened was Nutty Rat should have gone with Odin and Kaguru, and they would have wiped the floor completely and a lot easier.
Yeah. Oh, these are damage scores I definitely want to see. Oh my goodness. Nutty Rat, 845 in the Night Star. Darklight, 676 in the Night Star. Deadfire getting 96 in the Flea, which brings up the bottom side. 42 having much more even spread damage among the team. Top going to Shade, 549 in his Stalker. Bottom going to Goodnight, 207 in the Annihilator. A much more even spread. Wait a minute. Sorry about that. I had a temporary brain fart, but yeah. So, let's see. I believe. Actually, yeah, that is 42's third win. That solidifies 42's victory, or that not victory. That solidifies 42's third place clinch in Div C, with 228 now getting fourth place. Of course, that's not to say that that the fighting should stop here, seeing as whoever wins drop 5 does get an extra 1,000 MC tacked into their ISC rewards. But the div standings now for third and fourth place have now been finalized.
That may be true, like you said. 228 can still get another win, get another 1,000 MC added to their pool.
Mm-hmm. Magic Pain Glove with the raid of 86 viewers. My God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Magic. You are amazing. Alrighty. Now for those of you who are just tuning in, this is the final drop of 228 IBR against 42 The Answer. However, immediately after that, we are going to jump into Erie Raptor Daptors, which, if you ask me, still has the coolest logo in all of ISC, going against 256 Bears Brawlers. So who wins, the Birds or the Bears? I feel like that was a recent Super Bowl.
Yes, it was. You're right on that.
Wait a minute. That can't be right, though, because that means the Chicago Bears got to the Super Bowl.
I'm just messing with you.
I was about to say, Chicago Bears, they ain't gonna get to the Super Bowl anytime soon. Oh boy.
Ack.
Actually, I'm gonna look it up. Last time the Chicago Bears won the Super Bowl was 1986. They beat the New England Patriots. Bears fans, you will one day have your time. But that day is not today. That day is not today. Alright, 42 locked, just waiting on 228 IBR. And both sides are locked. Let's get to it. Alrighty, on the 42 side, we see Stalker 4N, Jaegermech DD, Champion 1NB, Vulcan 5T, Warhammer 6D, and Annihilator 1P. So, without looking at what's on the Champion, this is very much a mid-range deck. Very, very similar to what we saw last time. Yeah, Champion has AC2s and Peeps.
And on the other side, it looks like they're going full brawl. Cyclops 10Q, Victor 9S's, Dragon 1N, a Javelin. All of them going in for the Mega Brawl. The 1N has an interesting build. 2 SRM4s, an LB10, and 2 light PPC.
Interesting.
Something you don't normally see, but...
That's still a lot of DPS, though, given
Yes,
the cooldown quirks that mech has.
These Victors are full brawl AC-20 and SRM Artemis. 10Q is likely SRM Artemis as well. Yes, it is. Tofurky moving in ahead early on to get that scouting information that his team desperately needs if they're going to win this brawl.
He will be careful. He's going to come up to a Jaeger mech.
Oh, it's fine. That's perfect. Yeah. He pops the UAV, giving away a little bit of where the enemy is at. And that's going to be a crucial thing for 42 to realize. 42 actually needs to back up instead of moving up. I don't think they realize what's coming. Flynn is flying over, and he does see the blob of assault mechs lining up, ready to go.
Are they going to take high ground? Are they going to take high? They're going to follow high? Yep, they're just going to run straight through as soon as they're all here.
And now 42 backing up properly, realizing what's about to happen. 228 is actually taking way too long for this. They need to push in now or reposition.
They're going now.
Because now they know when they're coming. Now Odin going in first. The rest following in behind.
Odin being a true leader and just leading the charge. Taking serious
Odin's
damage,
about to go down.
But everyone else is fresh, though. Odin goes down, but everyone else in the free team is fresh. Titus Q.
Now Tofurky's going to jump in. He's going to try and take care of that Jaeger mech. Tofurky just needs to hop down and take care of him. Darklight is now about to go down. Titus goes down. Amarok is now next on the chopping block.
Oh my goodness.
And now they're going to turn their attention towards the Annihilator, Stalker, and the Warhammer. Looks like the Stalker is next on the list. Just going in there. Getting up in front of their faces and taking care of the chaff.
Shade is down to 33%.
But the Victor
goes
down.
Next.
The Victors are now ignoring the Stalker. The Stalker is stripped completely.
Prometheus taking heavy damage in the Warhammer.
But Tofurky's in the back of the Annihilator with the heavy machine guns critting out those weapons almost. Flynn moving back to protect them.
Flynn coming back to screen, yep.
However, Nutty Rat, Kaguru are still going, and Warhammer goes down. Now it's just the Annihilator. Annihilator doesn't have enough heat. Tofurky coming back in, machine gunning his back, critting him out.
Flynn's just doing everything he can to screen, but he's unable to stop the MG Javelin. Kaguru shuts down.
Flynn is not shooting the legs, he is shooting the CT, and Nutty Rat finally goes down. But I think it's over and done now.
Herod is stripped.
It's just now the Dragon is going to move in to take care of the Vulcan.
Vulcan gets legged.
And now it's done for him. And now the two move out to take care of the enemy.
Holy shit. What a brawl push.
Very well done. 42.
I was a little worried because 228 took a little too long on that corner. Gave 42 a bit too much time to set up a firing line. And as you saw, 228 Odin Steel in the Victor and then Darklight in the Cyclops just got obliterated on approach. But
well, what mattered was they all committed. They did not stop. That was the right thing to do. As long as they kept pushing, and it does not matter if they lose the mech early. The 42 mechs are very squishy. That Jaeger mech on the chopping block, the champion on the chopping block, the Warhammer, and they did a good job on stripping that Stalker fairly quickly.
Definitely.
Getting rid of its weapons.
Now let's check out these damage boards. So, top on 42 is Herod 499. Bottom is Titus getting 208 in the Jaeger. And then from there, you see Nutty Rat getting 853 in the Victor. Unbelievable. Then bottom damage on 228, Odin Steel getting 131. However, that makes sense, seeing as he tanked like a pro. He just ran in, no fear, spearheaded his team all the way to victory. And yeah, so that's pretty much all she wrote. Very good job by 228. Even at a bit of the disadvantage there on the push, still though, absolutely unbelievable the amount of firepower they had in that push. And now I'm preparing to get our next team in here. As after this, we are doing Erie Raptor Dapper Raptors, my bad, against 256 Bears Brawlers.
Unfortunately, I must take leave and leave you in the hands of Mr. Tios.
Thank you very much for stopping by, Derek. And yep, I think I got this one in the bag. It should be a pretty straightforward matchup.
I do too. You take care.
Take it easy, and I will see you on the flip side. All right, and now we are waiting to get Erie and Bears Brawlers in here. Sorry about the delay, folks. Just trying to get this rolling. Allow me to sing you some tunes. As we get Erie in here, we are now waiting on the Bears. Come on, team. You can do it. There we go. There's the lobby invite. So, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the wait. We are now getting ready to do 256 Bears Brawlers versus Erie Dapper Raptors. English is hard. Oh, and let me get the profile images for these teams. Boom. 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 Just me. What is it? Or is that like like a capybara more than it looks like a bear? But I mean, you know it's not a capybara because capybaras are like the most chill animal on the planet. So they definitely wouldn't be like attacking in a fit of rage. But you know, that's just me. As I prepare one more. Sorry about the delay, folks. As we all know, back to back casts can be a little shaky at times. Alrighty, now I have everything prepared, which means now it's time for the weekly Tios throwing shade. So, you know, first things first. This is not a shade, or this is not me throwing shade. This is actually me doing the opposite. I still believe Erie has the best, or at least the most adorable logo in the entire ISC league. Because I mean, look at that thing. It's adorable. It's it's a Velociraptor in a three-piece suit. Like, you know, how is that not adorable? And look at the top hat. It's got a top hat. That's just amazing. And then, you know, if you look at the Bears bra, you know, they claim it's a bear. I honestly say it's a capybara, but you know, to each their own. We all like, you know, we all see different things, but you know, I don't think that's a bear. I think that's a capybara who, like, I don't know, took like cocaine, PCP, something, you know. He really wanted to attack that Kintaro. The Kintaro, it's not the Kintaro 18 because you can see it's got the actual, it's because it's got the CT laser. It's not the Kintaro 18. It's not the Kintaro Golden Boy, which means it's not one of the good Kintaros. So I don't care if it gets killed by this angry capybara bear type thing. So that's totally fine. But you know, both these teams have actually pretty good looking logos. Like, you know, some of the logos are just made in MS Paint. So this one, honestly, it's pretty solid. So like, as far as the Tios logo rating score goes, I give Dapper Raptors a 7 out of 10. And I give Bears a 6 out of 10, which, you know, and you're like, 7, 6, you know, that's not very high. That sucks. No, because what you need to understand is that I'm impossible to please. So a 7 out of 6 is pretty damn good, all right? I've only given one team in the entirety of not just MWO, but competitive gaming, period, a 10. So a 6 out of 7, you should be you should be pretty happy. Who is sending me friend invites? I will accept this. I need to friend Blood Eagle, since apparently I do casts of his match, and therefore I need to be able to invite him. Alright, just waiting on Bears Brawlers to lock, and then we can get this rolling. Of course, you know, I'm not saying that because you have a better logo or a worse logo that I am hoping your team wins or loses. I root for teams on much more petty grounds than that. You know, this is something objective, so therefore I can't. But come on. Both sides are locked. Let's get to it. All right, so look at what these teams have brought. Bears Brawlers, we are actually no. Is Bear Brawlers on the side? Yeah. Bears Brawlers, Urban Mech, Centurion, Vulcan, Commando, a Quarantine? You brought a wait a minute. Which Urban Mech is the R60? Which one is that? Okay, that's the heavy machine one. What's on the Quarantine? Medium pulse and MRMs. Okay. Centurions, that's the LBX variant, so they're just LBX brawling, and then yeah, it's a very unusual deck composition. And if we look at Eerie here, Firestarter A, I don't need to check you, I already know what you have. Phoenix Hawk 1K, I don't need to check you, I already know what you have. Katana Cat, I already know what you have. More Centurions. Fascinating. What do these people see in the Centurions that I do not? LB5s, okay, those ones are LB5s. Commando, I don't need to check you. What's on this Centurion? Medium Pulse and LB2s. LB10, SRM6s, and Smalls. Interesting. I've never seen those Brown comp before. Oh, Rioter shows up, takes an early shot. Slice coming in to meet his opponents up front. And the fight is going on in the basement as CERN drops down. CERN's mech does not have jump jets. He cannot get out of there, which means he's going to be isolated and killed. Some of the Eerie folks are dropping in behind them in order to grant them covering fire, but it seems that they are squirreling on CERN hard, who's lagged and down to 35%. Oh boy, CERN, what are you doing there, bud? That was some rubber banding if I've ever seen it. But yep, and CERN goes down, Cloudburst goes down, which makes this a 4v5. This is utter chaos, and I love it. I can't even call out. Bears, third mech goes down. Tholium goes down. Now that just leaves the Commando, who's legged. Oh, that was a decisive drop one. Let's see what the damage numbers that the Centurions put up, because they played 4 of them total. So I just gotta know. I gotta know. I got an itch for knowledge. So if you look at the damage board screen, top on Eerie, 392, Blood Eagle in his Centurion D. Bottom is CERN, getting 93 damage in his Phoenix Hawk. An honorable mention going to Ryder in the Firestarter with 326 damage and 128 team damage, which gives him the lowest match score in the match. Thank you, my man. Your team loved it. Then if you go to the 256 side, top damage goes to it's not Ditholium, it's Dithiolium. 354 damage in the Urban Mech, Bottom damage is Amagi Best Fox getting 69 damage in his quarantine, which is fascinating, seeing as the quarantine had an alpha strike of like 50. 2 40s, 2 medium pulse, 52 alpha strike. So that means he only hit like one alpha strike and then just splash damage occurred. So interesting. And I don't think he died first, so I'm surprised to see the Wolverine get such little damage here. But that is in the past. We must now prepare for Alpine. So, for those of you who have been viewing drops with me recently, and the 3 games I've done in the past 24 hours with Derek, Alpine Peaks has effectively gone almost the same way every time, where every team has just been running 3 traders and 3 lights, or 4 traders and 2 lights, something of that vein. So, I'm expecting to see the same here. Erie, despite their lower div standing, has not played this similarly to a lot of other divs. To a lot of other teams in this div. Erie's drop decks have been mostly on meta. I say mostly because last drop they had some unorthodox picks, but Erie still has picked pretty solid meta drop decks, so I'm expecting to see ER large and lights coming out of Erie. As for 256, I've never spectated them before. I've never casted them before, anything of the sort. So I can't really predict what I'm going to see here. Meanwhile, I was able to cast an Erie match 2 weeks ago, so I do have a bit more solid grasp on how this team likes to play. Actually, I believe this is the first time 256 has been put on cast, period, in ISC. So here's to hoping they put on a good show. Just waiting for 256 to declare being locked. Alrighty, so let's see where this goes. Raptor Erie bringing awesome 9M. That's the ERPPC variant. Cicada 3F. That's the jumpy one. Stalker 5S. Vulcan 5T. Vulcan 5T. Warhammer 6R. So a lot of trading. I'm assuming that the Stalker has ER larges. I'm assuming the Warhammer has light Goss ER peeps. I'm just gonna double check that real quick though. Yep. Yep. Let's see what's on the other side. On 256, Bear Cavalry, Marauder 3R, Hatamoto Chi, Charger 1A1, Archer 2R, Com 1D, Urban Mech R60. What a strange. Not strange, just unusual. Like I said, Eerie, you can pretty much predict the mechs that they're going to bring, simply because they bring a lot of the popular meta mechs. But Bears, they seem to be bringing very unorthodox picks. Archer, I bet, has learned that it does. Charger, mid-range laser vomit, Marauder, AC-20 snubs, Hatamoto Chi, MRMs, and medium pulls. So Bears Brawlers is living up to their name. They brought Brawl. But the real question is Bears going to be able to close, or are they forced, or are they going to get gunned down and approach? And of course, the biggest thing here is that Raptors Eerie has unwittingly set up Bears for quite the advantage in their push, in the sense that they're all bunched up. Now, what Bears needs to do, though, if Bears wants to win, is Bears needs to circle around here in the path that I'm currently taking, because if they go through this open ground, they will have a lot more cover. If they go around the hill over here and try to walk up, they're just going to get burned down by pretty much everyone on the Eerie side. So Bears Brawlers needs to close around this open channel here, which will at least give them a semblance of more cover. But of course, the biggest thing is getting to this big hill here, being able to hug the wall, and being able to close without taking too much damage. And every second they wait is another second that Eerie's able to set themselves up. Blood Eagle and Slice coming up to see if they can grab Theta. Kurayami is not going to challenge it, though. Interesting. Yeah, they just don't challenge it at all. The jig has been up. The jig is up, though. Eerie does see that they have Lerms. Zyko is already orange. He's red at 80%. Hatamoto Chi Bros, our hitboxes are terrible. Come on, Bears. You cannot hemorrhage this much armor. You have got to close. Amagi's just going to walk out in the open. He's just going to close. He's just going to take all of the damage. Oh my goodness. Amagi, this is not good for you. Amagi, not like this. There are better ways to go. Vampirek is following him in the Charger. Amagi is now within brawling range, but he is also open CT. And he misses the shot against Slice. That's huge. Seeing as Amagi will not be alive for that long to deal out that many shots. Amagi misses the second shot. And he's now one-touch CT. The moment the Stalker looks at him, he's dead. Oh, he gets a solid hit on Blood Eagle. Amagi goes down. Vampirek is coming in the Charger. Kuriyama goes down. It's now a 3v6. Moon is a bit too close to use their Lerms. Not sure what Moon plans to achieve here, but he gets dropped, and now it's just down to Diff in the Urban Mech. And Raptors Eerie 6-0s their opponent. And if we look at the damage board here, top damage going to Ryder in the Stalker, getting 619. In true fashion of an Oopsbro, being able to farm at range. Bottom damage on Eerie goes to Blood Eagle, getting 188 in his Vulcan. Top damage on Bears Brawlers gets is Monsoon Cloudburst, getting 325 in his Lerm Archer. Bottom damage, 3 double Ds from the Commando, the Marauder, and the Hatamoto Chi. All getting double D'd, which is not what you want to see in a Brawl push. And now, as we prepare to go for drop 3, if I'm Eerie, I honestly wouldn't change anything. Eerie's drop deck seemed to work out pretty well. There were a few mech picks that confused me, such as the Cicada, but I mean, it worked out fine. And if I was the leader of Bears Brawlers right now, if I wanted to hold on to the Brawl deck, what I would do is I would bring quicker mechs. Yeah, I'd pretty much just bring quicker mechs. The dragons are a solid pick. Like, say, you could run triple dragons, or something that can close quick. You want mechs that have speed quirks, or are just naturally fast, naturally tanky. Dragons are a solid go-to pick, not the strongest pick, but a solid one nonetheless. Some of the other ones you could see, for a Brawl push, there were a surprising lack of MPL mediums. I feel like that's always required, because even if they're not the solid damage dealers, they still can turn heads, they still can skirmish by the time the team needs to approach. So I would have definitely run something like three dragons, 2 Vulcans, or 3 dragons, a Vulcan, and then something else right there. But either the place Bears Brawlers went wrong was either their mechs were too slow, or they spent too long hiding behind that hill. And there is a possibility that it's both, but I do believe that if Bears Brawlers brought quicker mechs, they probably would have had a better shot. All right, and 256 is getting ready to lock. Not quite there yet. Alrighty. 256 is locked. Now we're just waiting for Eerie. Come on, Eerie. I know you can do it. Eerie, if you take too long, I'm gonna have to demote your logo score from a 7 to a 6, and then you'll be tied with Bears. I'm not saying this is a threat, but this is a threat. Please. Both sides are locked. Let's go. Alrighty, so on the 256 side, we have a Charger, an Archer, a Charger, a Marauder, an Urban Mech, a Commando. So I'm betting the same. And on Eerie, we have Warhammer, Warhammer, Grasshopper, Mauler, Cicada, Fleet. What's on the Mauler? I want to check that. Mauler's over here. 3 large and 2 Gauss. Okay. Okay, buddy. I see you. I see you. What is on the Archer, though? LRM's Light P. MRM Bros. We're at it again. Actually, what's on the Charger? AC-20 SRM. Lasvom. Okay. So, Bears are going to do the same thing. Let's see if it works out this time. Slice is getting Theta pretty much for free. Oh, he took a bit of damage. However, Kuriyami needs to pull back, seeing as there's serious overwatch from Eerie right now. Slice, however, is getting Lermed, because Lerm overwatch is a thing that I totally didn't forget existed. And Bears Brawlers is just running in. I think they've learned. I think they've learned. But they did not take the right path. They are taking far too much damage on approach. Bears, this is not like this, Bears. Actually, they're taking a lot less damage than I thought. They might be able to close effectively. Amagi taking a hit in the head. That's what's making him orange. Kuriyami goes down. Self-destruction. Was that a self-strike kill? But now they are within range. Zori goes down. Zyko spearheading the charge. Remember, he's now red CT. Two mechs down on each side. Ryder on the chopping block next. Vampy Red goes down. Ryder goes down. It's now a 3v3. Yo, y'all, somebody needs to do something about this flea that's currently eating you from the back. Slice is just getting free damage. Oh, Ditholium goes down. I thought he had the Grasshopper there. Embarrassing goes down. I think Slice is going to clutch the match, though. I think Eerie's won thanks to Slice. Both these mechs are too fresh. Yep. The Flea just clutched it. Go, Flea. The Lerms. The Lerms have failed you.
For the love of God! For the love of God!
The Lerms.
Please! Damn! Damn!
Actually, let's see how much damage the Lerms do, because I am curious. Lerms did 449 damage. All right. Okay. I'm not sure how effective damage that was, but top damage going to Dith, getting 503 in the Urban Mech. Okay, Dith. I see you. I see you. And then bottom damage going 75 in Kuriyami and the Commando. However, the Commando did do did do a serious contribution in the sense that it forced Erie to sort of squirrel a lot. That Erie spent too much time shooting the Commando and not enough time shooting the big mechs that are trying to close. So Kuriyami, even though he did double D, he did do a very effective role there. If you look at the Erie side, top is Slice of Life, or not Slice of Life, holy shit. Top is Slice in the Flea, getting 645 damage. Like I said, the flea fucking carried that, dude. The flea carried. Bottom damage is Zuri getting 223 in his Warhammer. He was like Gauss ERP, so he just didn't really have the DPS to keep up with the push coming in, so that part makes sense. And now as we move on to drop 3, Viridian Bog, now I don't got to explain this. Y'all have watched so many ISC rounds that you know that it's the heaviest drop. You know it's going to be mid to brawl. You know it's coming. So, I mean, actually, since this is a brawly map, Bears might be at a bit of a more advantage here, seeing as they've been trying to brawl on Alpine, which means that they very much feel at home at that. So, Viridian Bog, their brawling efforts might be a bit more successful simply because they won't take as much damage burn on approach. So, I believe Bears have a much higher chance of pulling matches out on Alpine. I mean, on Viridian than they do on Alpine. In Erie probably has a pretty solid grasp of what Bears is going to do. Like if your opponent tries to brawl on Alpine, your opponent's going to try to brawl on every map. So Blood Eagle is probably trying to get a strat ready right now in which it's a mid-range firing line with high enough DPS to make it so when your opponents push, you do have enough DPS to gun them down at range before they close. So that's going to be a lot of DACA, a lot of AC2s, UAX, things like that. So that's what I'm expecting to see out of Erie here. Whether or not it'll work, or whether or not Bears Brawlers deck would work, I don't know. There's only one way to find out. Apologies for the wait, folks. Still waiting on 256 to get all their players back in. You know, 256 Brawl deck, I mean, not Brawl deck, the Lerms could have worked if they had a Narc mech and they really leaned into it, because for a single Lerm boat, the Archer does have pretty solid DPS, but, you know, just a single Lerm boat just isn't that much. Like, sure, it got a lot of damage, but it's really not enough to fully commit and to fully take down your opponent. So, um, had 256 went a little more hardcore into the Lerms, and had they brought a Narc mech, Alpine really could have worked out in their favor. But because they only had a single Lerm mech, and because they didn't have a real way to hold locks, and also the Lerm mech was with the Brawl push as well, I really believe it struggled. I really think they should have dropped it and put in another Brawler, or dropped a Brawler or two and went hardcore on the Lerms and gave the Commando Narc. Either way, just the weird hybridity that we had here, just it's a little too wishy-washy. You really have to commit if you want it to work out. And you know, I mean, sure, I talk crap and all that, but I mean, we all live, we learn. So I mean, don't judge 256 too hard on the quality of their drops here. So long as they're willing to learn, so long as they're moving forward, they're fine. Eerie here is definitely pulling out ahead. Eerie has had a little bit more time to learn how comp works and what drop decks work out best and which ones don't. So I believe Eerie's increased experience over 256 is definitely showing off here. Just waiting for Blood Eagle to announce locked. And both sides are locked. Let's go. Alrighty, so let's see where this goes. Alrighty, so on the 256 side, we have an Orion, a Warhammer, a Shadowhawk, a Protector, a Grasshopper, and a Marauder. So they're going hard into the Brawl again, and I actually haven't seen the Orions in play since their buff. I'm curious to see how these work out. Alright, Zyko bringing an incredibly strong build on the Orion VA. I am hoping it works out. Eerie bringing in a Crab, Sleipnir, Stalker, Phoenix Hawk, Grasshopper, 9A1. A bit of a hybrid deck, 2 Brawl mechs, and then a lot of skirmishers. So it seems Eerie is prepared for the Brawl push coming from the Bears. And of course, you know, it's in their name. It's in Bears Brawlers. So yeah, Eerie's got some solid grounds to expect what's coming. And so I believe Eerie's play is to just set up caps, set up a firing line, and let the Bears push in against them. Embarrassing going up top center to scout. What's on the Grasshopper 5J? Interesting. One thing I would note about the Grasshopper 5J is that the loadout here is not very indicative of the quirks, as it has an HSL. So I am surprised to see Kuriyami running the 2 large pulse for 4 medium pulse instead of the 4 large pulse build, but let's see how it plays out. As Ditholium, oh boy, Ditholium takes a heavy Goss to the face and is already open CT. Ditholium gets halved, already losing his MRMs. Blood Eagle in Oh, Defolium gets dropped. Blood Eagle and the Victor doing serious work here. They need to prioritize that mech immediately. Letting Blood Eagle survive and just launch heavy Gauss shot after heavy Gauss shot is not the right play here. 2 mechs go down for Eerie, though. Oh, Blood Eagle goes down. Kuriyami goes down. It's now a 3v3. It's a 3v2. 2v2. CERN is C-cap Tard, though. And this match has become 2 little isolated 1v1s. CERN gets legged. Vampy's going for the legs. Interesting. Vampy's one-touch CT. Vampy gets dropped. CERN has to shut down, though. Embarrassing gets legged. Zyko's Holy shit. Holy shit. Zyko, shield the other side. Zyko, you need to shield with your dead side. Zyko, no! Yes! 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 Oh my goodness. What a match. Wow. Mr. Phoenix Hawk, how does it feel to be on death's door? Wow. Look at these damage numbers here. Top damage on 256 going to Zyko. 665 in his Orion VA. A close second going to Vampy in his Protector. And then let's see, if you look at the Eerie side, top damage going to CERN, getting 680 in his Large Pole Stalker. And bottom damage going to Slice, getting 129 in his Crab. So, wow. And bottom damage on 256 going to Ditholium, getting 46 damage. Of course, Ditholium poked around the corner and then immediately got his gun shut off by the combined alphas of the Victor and the Grasshopper, so didn't have much chance to shoot. as we gear up for our final match here. Sorry, folks, I'm starting to get a little bit tired. This is my third match casted today. As we gear up for our final match here, if we look at what's in store for tomorrow, let me pull up my schedule. Tomorrow at, what day is today actually? Today's the 12th. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, I will be here to cast SROT versus Smoke Adders, which I believe is actually a fairly high-level case game in Div B. I believe that will determine first or second place, one of the two. So, we are not done for the weekend yet. On 256, let's get this rolling. Let's get this last drop of the night done. Hey, we going. Alrighty, so on the Erie side, we see Crab 27, Victor 9A1, Bushwhacker, Cyclops Sleipnir, Mauler MX90, Dervish 6MR. So I'm willing to bet a very similar drop deck. Actually, no, this Victor has AC10s instead. So this drop deck based. Or not trading, more mid-range skirmishing type stuff with MPLs, AC10s, and then the Cyclops as an LB10 Brawl anchor. And oopsies. If you look at the Bears side, King Crab, 2 Shadowhawks. The Shadowhawk 2D2. Ladies and gentlemen, the King has returned with a bit of an unorthodox build, but it's a 2D2 nonetheless. And then still the Orion and a Roughneck. What's on the King Crab though? King Crab is dual AC20, dual snub. So, Bear's running the same deck, Erie's running something a bit more mid-rangey. So, let's see how this plays out. Both sides going for their North cap. Nobody really seems to care about Theta, as it should be. Erie are they going to move down the Carapace again? Or not Erie. Erie's going around for high ground, sort of leaving their assault mechs in the dust. Meanwhile, 256 is going through Carapace. They haven't been spotted yet, though. That's a big thing here. However, the push has begun. The Mauler is setting up to farm at range. The Sleipnir will not be able to do much damage, or not do much effective damage, but it can sandblast anyone that it wants to. However, the real fight, it seems to be around this corner here, as the Orion Protector is just going to spearhead his way through. Vampy down at 71% in his Orion, trying to twist damage as much as he can. Blood Eagle goes down first, though. Interesting. Zuri almost down in the Bushwhacker. Zuri goes down. It's now 6v4. However, Kuriyami goes down. Vampirek goes down. Slice goes down. It's now a 3v4. However, Ryder and CERN are still pretty much fresh. And that's a huge issue, seeing as Ryder should be able to clutch up this match alone in the Sleipnir, given how damaged everyone is. Zyko takes serious damage, trying to push, trying to tank against the Mauler. Ryder manages to drop. Oh, Zyko gets dropped, yep. And the two fresh assaults manage to clutch up the day. As the last is now Monsoon. Holy shit. Okay then. Not how I expected things to go. Please don't kill Embarrassing. He's the only one who's going to be able to get a cap point quickly. Let's see how damaged everyone is. Ryder, one touch. CERN, open. Embarrassing. Actually pretty fresh. Alrighty, GG's to both teams. Top damage going to CERN, getting almost 900 damage in his Mauler. Second going to Ryder, 799. Blood Eagle getting a double D, 90 damage in his Victor. Top damage on the 256 side going to 532. Bottom damage going to a tie between Kuriyami and Vampirek, both getting 192. So, thank you to everybody who stopped by. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more comp matches tomorrow. However, I'm going to end this stream without much fanfare, as this is my third match casted for the day, and I'm exhausted. So, peace, folks. Thanks, everyone, for coming by. Have a wonderful night, and we will see y'all tomorrow.